Hello and welcome to this video. Today I will wrap up my books that I read in February. I read 4 books in February. And I think that's quite nice. I'm ahead of my reading goal on Goodreads. So that feels nice. Okay, so the first I have my notes on my phone. The first book is called K2 på liv och död by Fredrik Sträng, and in English that translates to K2 on life and death by Fredrik Sträng. This is a book about a group of people who climbed K2 in Pakistan, which is like the most dangerous climb you can do ever all over the planet. And this ended up in being one of the worst climbing accident in history, where 11 people died. So this is kind of like, and the author of this book is one of the survivors, so this is like a autobiographical book. This was a really captivating read. If you don't know that about me, I'm a climber as well. I obviously don't climb those kinds of things, you know. I climb at a gym and sometimes outside, like boulders and stuff, but not more serious than that. I do it for the exercise and for the strength. But I have experienced a bit of that, you know, adrenaline when if you have climbed before and you do the top rope thing, you can I get like this adrenaline rush when you're at the top, and that feels, it's very, I don't know how to describe it, but it's like you have really sore muscles, and you have like, you're feeling pumped in your arms, and you have this adrenaline going, and even if you know that you are connected to a wire and you can't fall, it's scary. So I can't imagine the horror and the anxiety of those people that climbed K2 together and lost 11 people of their group. It must have been horrifying. And it's about, the perspective is this author, and he like tells you his story, but one of the climbers were there with her husband, and she is one of the survivors, and he is one of the people who died. And to experience that is beyond anything I can imagine. I can really recommend it because it's a really good book, and it's a really captivating read and everything. It's not that well written. It's like, you know, you don't read it for the writing, you read it for the content. But I can recommend it. It's a good book. Next book is a fiction book. So it is The Lost Queen by Signe Pike. This was so good. I loved this book. This has like a bit of Juliet Marillier vibes to it. I'm gonna read the blurb. In a land of mountains and mist, tradition and superstition, Langoreth and her brother Lailoken are raised in the old way of their ancestors. But in Scotland, a new religion is rising, one that brings disruption, bloodshed, and riot. And even as her family faces the burgeoning forces of Christianity, the Anglo-Saxons, bent on colonization, are encroaching from the east. When conflict brings the hero Emrys Pendragon to her father's door, Langoreth finds love with one of his warriors. Her deep connection to Malgwen is forged by enchantment, but she is promised in marriage to Ridresh, son of a Christian king. As Langoreth is catapulted into a world of violence and political intrigue, she must learn to adapt. Together with her brother, a warrior and druid known to history as Myrdin, Langoreth must assume her duty to fight for the preservation of the old way and the survival of her kingdom, or risk the loss of them both forever. Based on new scholarship, this tale of bravery and conflicted love brings a lost queen back to life, rescuing her from obscurity and reaffirming her place at the center of one of the most enduring legends of all time, the legend of Merlin. Yeah, this was such a good book. I was so invested in the story and in the character of Langoreth. And this is based on a true story about, or a legend about Myrddin, which is today known as Merlin. I really love the connections to like real history, and you can really tell that the writer had done her research very well. And it's quite a gap between the books, so I don't know when this came out, but it was a while ago. And then I think the second book came out in 2021 or 2020, I don't know. But the next book isn't coming out this fall. It's coming out September 2023, so it's a while to go. Langoreth, and I really loved the character of Langoreth and her story and her development. And she's such a strong woman, and I loved being able to see her reason with herself and her in a conflict about what she should do and what she wants to do, or she wants to be taken seriously and she wants to be able to perform the same duties as her brother to become a druid, but she can't because she's a woman. And also the love and this very, very strong connection between her and her family and her brother in particular, because she loves him and she has a really strong bond with him. I love that. And this was, as I said, the first book in the series, and it's going to be 3. So I'm very excited. I'm gonna read the second one quite soon, I think, even if the third is like very far off. I'm gonna read the second one because I just want to be in this world. I actually have 2 books that I read in physical form, because the first one, the K2, I listened to on audiobook, and the second one I read on my Kindle, and this I read in physical form. So this was The Last Wish by Andres Sapkowski. It's the guy who wrote The Witcher. So this is the first book in the Witcher series, and this is a short story collection, which the first season of The Witcher TV series is based on. Yeah, I'm gonna read the blurb here as well. Geralt was always going to stand out, with his white hair and piercing eyes, his cynicism and lack of respect for authority. But he is far more than his striking appearance. He is a witcher, with powers that make him a brilliant fighter and merciless assassin. And his targets are the vile fiends that ravage the land. As guardian of the innocent, Geralt meets incestuous kings with undead daughters, vengeful djinns, shrieking harpies, lovelorn vampires, and despondent ghouls. Many are pernicious, some are wicked, and none are quite as they appear. I have watched this TV series. I loved the first one, and I really got into it and loved the second season. I really enjoyed this book in parts. I enjoyed some of the short stories very much, and then others I didn't care for as much, and I just kind of raced through them to get to the next one, But overall, I'm very pleased. It got a 3.5 stars from me, maybe 4 even. And I like to keep on reading the series. I think it's gonna be a good one. Yes. And I don't have that much to say about it, actually. The next book is this book, The Handmade Marketplace. How to Sell Your Crafts Locally, Globally, and Online by Carrie Chapin. Chapin. I read this chapter by chapter and didn't read 3 chapters a day. I just read 1 chapter, and then I took some time to reflect and implement if there were any changes I wanted to change my company or my social medias or things. So yeah. So this has quite a few parts to it. It has 3 parts. And the first is getting to know yourself and your business. The part 2 is spreading the word and images. And part 3 is getting down to selling. So it's a handbook in like how to sell your handmade things online. Some things I already knew, some things I didn't know, and some things didn't concern me. So that's kind of the thing with these kinds of books, because you can't, as an author, you can't target like one person or one brand or one, you know, one part of the handmade community or the artist community. You have to be general, and she did a great job in that, I think. So she has a very wide area of expertise, I think. So that's really cool. And one of the things I really liked was that she asked people in her creative collective, which is kind of like a thing she runs. So she asked the people from her creative collective and has the quotes in this book, so that you as a reader has kind of a more, you know, you get more inputs than just the author, which is really good, I think. So I really liked it. It's a very good place to start if you want to prepare yourself to start a business, or if you want to have some help in starting a business. This is a good book. That is the books that I read in February. I really liked all of them. It was not a book that I felt was bad or anything, so I'm very pleased with that. And I have a new favorite book, which is The Lost Queen. Thank you for watching this video. I hope to see you in the next one. And please subscribe to this channel if you like the content and if you like what I do. You can find my social media links in the description down below. And have a nice day. Bye!